Hey there, welcome to another Credit Card News live stream. I'm Cal Barton. I had to shift things to Saturday this week just because I have family in town and, they're going to want to, do a few things on Sunday. So I had to leave Sunday free for this week. But next week is going to be on Sunday at 7 p.m. So, Danny, I want to wish you well, man. I'm sorry to hear about you getting, attacked by a homeless person. I know you're out there in LA. And let me tell you, I'm here in the New York City area and it's, I see news every day about all sorts of violence, homeless people. I think an EMT worker just got attacked randomly outside her fire station, and it's probably made national news at this point. So it's definitely a huge problem out here, and I'm really concerned and thinking about where we should be. So I am hoping you a speedy recovery. And also, thank you for the super chat also, man. I still support, man. I really appreciate that. Saturday stream, I know it's different. Yeah, we're doing it Saturday this month. I didn't want to skip a week, so I wanted to figure out like a balance. I didn't want to skip a week, but also wanted to kind of do it at the same time. So this is kind of what I came up with. Shanika, how you doing? Biggs, I see you. Big support group. Rob T, EHJ23. Jay, I see you. See you waving your hand. Let's go. You said let's go. Let's do it. Miss Barton. So let's get started. First story. So this was kind of like a discussion on the Reddit forum that I thought was interesting. So some people are concerned about credit card, like the industry and where we're headed. So what's the future of credit cards? Should we be worried? For those of us in the credit card rewards game, there seem to be a few major challenges ahead. Many economists are predicting an imminent recession, which isn't great for rewards or approvals. Recently, the Credit Card Competition Act of 2022 was introduced, and if passed, would require banks to offer merchants the choice between two payment processors. This has the potential to lower interchange swipe fees significantly and thus result in a shift away from credit card rewards, much like we saw when debit card transaction fees were limited. So alternative payment options are being developed that seek to bypass card transaction fees. FedNow, Buy Now, Pay Later, Chase Pay by bank. So listen, I think the common sentiment that I saw on the forums and I happen to agree with was that we can't think about what's happening 2 years out. I mean, this could, kind of die on the vine. This might not even get to, it has to pass many steps to actually become law, and this could have a chance of going nowhere. So, I wouldn't worry about the state of affairs with credit cards. Right now, it looks like the competition is doing nothing but heating up. We got new credit cards being launched seemingly every quarter. And, we're going to talk about Chase actually later in this stream. They're actually going to be launching a new co-branded card with Doordash, and we're going to talk about that. So it's looking like things are going up for credit cards and their rewards programs. So I don't see, I know people like to get worried and they like to whip themselves into a frenzy, but I wouldn't think too far ahead, and I wouldn't look too far into this so far. Next story, will biometrics be the future of payments? So tech companies like Apple and Google, major influencers of consumer behavior, have done the heavy lifting when it comes to biometrics acceptance. Their tech tools and ubiquitous smartphones have primed consumers to use their fingerprints or faces to access their devices. In addition, user IDs, PINs, and passwords have become a friction-filled headache for many. Consumers who've grown wary of the need for unique passwords may increasingly view biometrics as a welcome change. As the pandemic prompted a shift towards contactless payments, players want to make transactions as frictionless and quick as possible, both to increase volumes and to please customers. Tapping biometrics takes that a step further. Proponents say with ease of use and security, both necessities in the digital age. So listen, every time you can remove friction or remove resistance from a transaction, it's just going to make people want to spend more. That's what credit cards kind of do, is remove, studies have shown that using a credit card for the average person, um, it doesn't seem like you're spending real dollars. It doesn't seem like you're spending real cash when you use a credit card, because there is that grace period, and you do have outsized credit limits. Like we have, many of us have credit limits over $100,000. You basically have access to far more money than you actually have in your bank account, and sometimes even maybe even in your 401k. So it seems like you're playing with monopoly money. You're spending funny money. So anytime you can remove friction like that, it's going to cause people to spend more and more money, and that's why they introduce buy now pay later at the point of sale for many merchants, because it's shown to increase purchases and purchase size. So people will spend more frequently and by larger amounts. So, I personally like to have my passwords saved. I use probably like Google. I use the Chrome extensions in Google Chrome web browser. But anytime I have to like actually go and dig and find a password, it's a problem. It's a big headache, and it's a chore, and I don't want to have to deal with that. So, listen, I'm not sure what biometrics going to win out. I'm currently using my fingerprint, but I can see this actually working out pretty well. What do you guys think in the comments? Do you think would you mind using a biometric source of like at the point of sale? Would you mind using your fingerprint or face unlock? And even right now you can use your digital wallet to do that, but would you mind just at the point of sale, if you take the phone out of the equation, maybe at the point of sale, do you think that would work? Do you feel comfortable using that? All right, next story, we have organized credit card fraud groups create fake sites to run charges on stolen credit cards. So as happens with ransomware and other forms of cybercrime, the credit card fraud landscape tends to evolve and follow industry trends over time. A new report from threat intelligence firm Reason Labs finds that since 2019, at least one major gang in this space has switched focus to building out fake dating and customer support websites and using these to trick legitimate payment processors into granting them access to their services. Once the scammers have the ability to charge credit cards, they purchase stolen credit cards from the dark web and run charges against them. The fact that these dating sites are known to have high rates of chargebacks also works in the attacker's favor by providing an explanation for what would otherwise be seen as unusual business activity. The attacker is also likely targeting more fringe payment processors that have a lower bar of acceptance for high-risk businesses. Wow, see, they're just getting more sophisticated at this point. So they know they're going to establish a business, what seems like a legitimate business. So they'll actually create the facade of a business, then buy illegal credit card data and run it through. And I'm sure like a low percentage or a considerable percentage, enough to make it worthwhile, of those payments will go through for them. Man, that's why they have to stay on top of things like this. But this is the first time I've heard about this sort of scheme. This is really interesting. All right, next story. Square officially launches support for tap to pay on iPhone. So Square publicly launched support for the tap to pay on iPhone to sellers across the United States, enabling small merchants and independent retailers to use their iPhone as a payment terminal. Tap to pay on iPhone allows sellers to accept contactless payments directly using their iPhone with no additional hardware or dongles required. The public launch allows Square's early access program to tap to pay on iPhone that begin in June. So, listen, you can tell what Apple's trying to do here. They're trying to basically they're trying to tap into banking at scale. They're offering a credit card. They offer the Apple Cash card, which is essentially a debit card. They have an interface like similar to Mint, where they show you your, you can aggregate all of your credit card and debit cards into the digital wallet inside of the Apple Wallet. They get a small cut every time you use Apple Pay. They get a small percentage on each transaction. And now they're offering payments, and they're going to charge probably a little bit more for these types of tap to pay transactions. So they're basically building out their business model from just being, an iPhone manufacturer and an app store marketplace to offering even more and more services. And this is essentially what they're doing, is building out their business even further. And this is very lucrative. So next story here, we have Chase is allowing credit limit increases in app. So this is kind of an early report. So you guys, your mileage may vary. It looks like they're rolling this out on their end. There now seems to be an option to request a credit limit increase. An option is below transfer a balance. So if you look within the app and you see the transfer a balance, the clickable link for transferring a balance, below that, you may start seeing a option for requesting a credit limit increase if it's eligible on that card. So this is one person's account here. I saw the option as well once I clicked into a specific card to request a credit limit increase. I clicked and saw I was pre-approved for one of my 3 cards. One of the said approval increases will not have a credit pull. So I clicked next. It had me verify my income and showed me my current limit and increased limit. I confirmed it and said my limit was increased and will be reflected in 24 hours. And later on, he went on to say that it did not trigger a hard credit pull. So this was a soft pull increase. So if you have any Chase cards, you have the Chase trifecta, may want to keep an eye on that. You might be eligible for a credit limit increase either now or in the near future. All right, so next we have Chase. JP Morgan Chase is strengthening dining with a push with a new Doordash credit card. I know some people are excited about this. I actually could get some real use out of this card. When I really sat down and thought about this, I use Doordash more than I should. And maybe I should be embarrassed, but I would be interested in this card. I'm over the 524 status, so I might be ineligible. So Chase is launching a new credit card with Doordash, the latest addition to the biggest U.S. banks ever growing group of co-branded deals with a pandemic favorite that has continued to gain against rivals. The card will be Doordash's first. It will operate on the MasterCard network, and that's the MasterCard payment network, expanding on the existing relationships among the 3 companies. JP Morgan and Doordash have collaborated on credit card perks since January 2020, while MasterCard and Doordash began offering benefits together last year. The firm didn't disclose details on annual fee, launch date, or perks beyond that cardholders will be able to earn rewards on and off the Doordash platform. So listen, I think that what you're going to see, it's got to be a standard 5%. I think what we're starting with, you definitely going to have to offer on that card 5% back on Doordash purchases. I think from what I've observed with their other co-branded cards, it also has to be a no annual fee card. I think odds are it's going to be no annual fee. And I think it's going to have another, it might have 1 or 2 more bonus categories. And just like, if you probably saw the video from Ben Hedges, I think he's right. It's probably going to be dining, because it's going to make sense for it to be focused on food. So it's either going to be, it has to be dining and grocery. So probably another 3% back on dining. I could see that. And then some other, little benefits that only, a small subset of people would get some use out of. So Yeah, are you guys excited for this DoorDash co-branded card? Is this something that, Chase seems to be building out their co-branded lineup? Do you like to see would you rather see like a revamped or added benefits to existing cards, or do you think are you excited for co-branded cards like the DoorDash card? Do you even use DoorDash? You like I should actually ask you guys. I'm gonna submit a poll here. Let me know. Are you excited? Are you excited for the Chase DoorDash card? Let me know. And also let me know down in the comment section area if you could just like this stream. Help push this stream out across YouTube. Go ahead and like it for me. I appreciate that. Ms. Barton said, I don't do DoorDash. I expected that. Walter, what's up, man? You said, don't do DoorDash, perfectly capable of going to get my own food. All right, I hear you. I hear you. Let's see how you guys voting here. Let me check this out. Listen, it's convenient. And sometimes, you don't feel like leaving the house, especially on like a rainy day. Let's see. Oh, look at that. About 86% say no, absolutely not. All right. I'm a little surprised by that. I thought it would be a little bit more even. This is Chase by the way. Chase is like the darling of the credit card scene in this community. Chase is beloved, is coveted. Our Fantastic Life, what's up? You said, I refuse to DoorDash, but I might once our daughter is born. Okay. Yeah, you might be stuck at home, right? Somebody's gonna have to be, watching the baby at all times. Ms. Barr says, save them bucks. Yeah, listen, it's gonna be costed. The delivery fees add up for sure. You're definitely gonna be, paying 20% more per order to get your food. Jay said, I use both DoorDash and Grubhub, so I can see the interest in having a dedicated card for one. All right. Listen, we got one person using not one, but two different delivery services. Nino says, what's up, Nino? I haven't seen you in a while. So you said Chase needs to bring back 5% grocery bonus. Okay. Listen, 5% on groceries, I get that with my City Custom Cash card, but 5% on groceries, that is a huge bonus because we all are going to be able to use that category, right? Very lucrative category. And right now we're sitting at 17 votes, 88%. It increased even further. So basically, nobody likes this new card, this new co-branded card. Shanika said, I use DoorDash and Instacart occasionally, but not interested in the card. Yeah, listen, the card, it's got to be by design. It's got to be limited, right? It's going to be highly focused on DoorDash. It's going to get 5%. It's going to be 5% on DoorDash, and it's going to be, it's not going to be able to compare. It's probably going to be similar. I would use a good baseline. A template would be the Chase Amazon card. Right, you get 5% back at Amazon, and then it's like 3% at, I believe on, what's that? Whole Foods. You get 3% on Whole Foods, and I think it's 2% on gas. So I would expect something like that, like a 5%, 3%, 2% model, and we have other cards that serve those purposes that we can use in those on other categories. So listen, it would only be for somebody that's going to be spending a ton of money on DoorDash. And that's just not that many people. Nino said, if you value your health, you can cook at home, stay lean and mean, and save money. Yeah, listen, Nino, a lot of people these days, they don't want to cook. They didn't take home ec. You know, they didn't want to learn from mama. They want that fast food, and they want to scroll through TikToks, right? The Zoomers don't want to cook. Who knows if they ever cook? I'm not judging, because listen, I use DoorDash. So let's get on to the next story here. We got let's pull that back up. Next up, we have Credit Card Competition Act. I think we covered that. Yeah, okay. So this is very similar to what we covered before. Right here. So it says the Credit Card Competition Act can make banking more expensive and less secure. Look at previous efforts to muscle down interchange fees. More than a decade ago, Congress capped such fees for debit cards. The price control reduced the cost of accepting debit cards for merchants, but only 1.2% of merchants use the savings to lower prices. Ooh, that's interesting. That's an interesting fact there. Only 1.2% of merchants use those savings to lower prices. A study by the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond showed the rest kept prices the same or raised them, retaining the savings for themselves. Reducing the amount of money that supports the interchange system could have serious consequences for consumers. The biggest concern is fraud. Interchange fees help offset rising losses associated with fraud, as well as the expense of fraud detection systems. You know, I could definitely see a scenario where they don't. I mean, who's gonna cut prices, right? If the consumer is not gonna be upset, like most consumers are not gonna be upset with you keeping things the same. That's not gonna hurt anybody's feelings. So I could definitely see them pocketing the savings, but I could definitely see if them not raising prices as frequently or by as large of an amount if they're saving money on these interchange fees. I could definitely see that happening. So next up, we have 46% of college students with credit cards have debt. I mean, this is pretty obvious, right? Over 67% of college undergraduate students have a credit card in their own name, and a little over 9% have access to a credit card as an authorized user. According to a mid-September survey from US News, having a credit card in college is a great way to build your credit history, but only if you use cards responsibly. Unfortunately, almost half of the survey respondents say they have credit card debt. Among the 46.1% of respondents who have had the credit card debt, 27% say their credit card debt exceeds $2,000. So how are you going to pay that off if you're in college and you most likely don't have a job? You get that $2,000 sitting there, and it's probably going to go into, I mean, definitely carrying a balance. So you're paying interest. A large percentage probably going to collections at that point. And I got to say, I don't remember having a credit card. I don't think I had a credit card in college. I don't think I had a card. Did you have a credit card in college? Are you in college right now? Let me know if you had a credit card, and if you did, were you responsible with that card? Were you were you an outlier? Did you just handle it perfectly? Next, we have Goldman Sachs, the 3 big co-branded credit cards, and near more than half of U.S. households. So morphing from investment banking into the rough and tumble world of consumer banking is not easy, but Goldman Sachs is doing it with co-branded credit cards. First, there was Apple, which brought an addressable market of 113 million iPhone users in the US. Then came the GM card, an iconic brand representing a base of 2.2 million cars sales in the US and 61 million total general motor vehicles on the road. Now comes T-Mobile with 22 years in the U.S. market and 109 million customers. What a way to build a credit card company. Pre-screen prospective customers in 3 vertical markets, no branches to manage, simply good names to harvest and solicit. So I think they're pretty much expressing their Goldman Sachs business model is to pair up with existing big time companies, Fortune 500 companies, and offer credit cards to their customers. So, listen, it sounds good on the surface, but we just saw a report last week at how Goldman Sachs has a subprime problem. And so they lowered the bar to get into the Apple Card to a 600 credit score. And now they have a lot of people on their books that are a little risky. And so they have to manage that risk more so than, their contemporaries, other credit card companies. So we'll see how that goes. Danny, I know that, Danny, it just reminds me, you have the Apple Card and the GM card, correct? And if they come out with the T-Mobile card, don't you have service with T-Mobile as well? So you could have the Goldman Sachs trifecta. I mean, they don't really work, they don't synergize with each other, but you'll have all 3. You'll have all the Goldman Sachs cards at that point. So next story, the CFPB, which is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is quickly becoming one of my favorite agencies, fines Regions Bank $191 million on overdraft practices. So Regions Banks will pay $191 million to settle Consumer Financial Protection Bureau allegations that the bank charged consumers illegal surprise overdraft fees on certain ATM withdrawals and debit card purchases between August of 2018 and 2021. The penalty encompasses a $50 million fine and $141 million the CFPB is ordering the lender to pay to customers hit with authorized positive fees. The bank said it eliminated authorized positive fees more than a year ago when it rearranged the order in which transactions were posted. That's terrible. That's such a sleazy move that banks do. And I would actually, when I was younger, I had quite a few overdrafts happen. You have like, $150 in your account most of the time, and you get your account to a point where it's overdrafted, but then several more, you buy, a pack of Skittles and a soda, and you basically have a charge for 99 cents and $1.50 that come and they reorder those charges so that it always, the charges apply to your account in the order that will maximize the amount of overdraft payments that you have to pay to the bank. That's such a predatory practice. Have you ever had that happen to you and just been frustrated, want to pull your hair out? It's really good to see this, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau acting. We just saw them a few weeks ago fine Credit Karma. What was it, $3 million? I know it wasn't much. It wasn't much as you want it to be, but they're actually making moves out here. It seems like they have a lot of bite to their bark. They're unilaterally handing out fines. You get a fine. You doing that practice. They're like a good watchdog organization. It's good to see. I'm gonna have to look more into some of the other steps they're taking against these different banks and institutions. So next story, we have understanding the risk of buy now, pay later apps. A whopping 43% of Americans said they have used a buy now, pay later service, according to an April 22 LendingTree poll, up from 31% in 2021. These services are also most popular among women, Gen Z, ages 18 to 25. Okay, so this is the first time I'm seeing this data here. So it's most popular with female Zoomers between 18 and 25, and those making between $50,000 and $75,000 a year. College students and recent graduates who make up Gen Z tend to have little to no credit history and are generally less financially literate. If mismanaged or overused, buy now, pay later services can lead to drastic consequences on young consumers' already delicate financial wellness. Without understanding the hidden risk of buy now, pay later loans, these services can cause consumers more harm than good. Here's what you need to know before considering these apps. So, listen, it seems like there's every week there's more and more articles, and there might be something behind the scenes. Maybe the credit card industry doesn't like buy now, pay later apps coming into the mix. Maybe they think they're going to steal some market share, because it seems like there's, hit article after hit article against buy now, pay later. They're pretty straightforward to me. Yeah, I like this. DT said, what's up, man? If I'm 38, do I qualify as Gen Z? That's funny. Yeah, he definitely not. Not Gen Z. But you're gonna be a millennial, right? You're gonna be with me, millennials out here. All right, so next story we have: how do credit card companies earn through premium cards? So this is like a really simple, or not simple. I think it's a really good question, and let's dig a little deeper. Premium credit cards have annual fees, but provides tons of other benefits. So I'm thinking of like the Gold card, Amex Gold, Amex Platinum. You got a ton of benefits there, and the value, the reported value from their websites is that you're getting $1,600 of value, you're getting $500 of value, but your annual fee is only a couple $100. How are they making up that difference? So, for example, the Venture X gives $400 worth of credits for a $395 annual fee. I believe people using these type of high-end cards are smart and never pay interest. So how does that company, the credit card company, actually make money on them? So listen, the credit card company, they're smart. Obviously, they're going to make money regardless. And if they're not making money, they're going to pivot into a direction that ultimately makes money and recoups the losses. So one is annual fees. Interchange. So annual fees for, the Venture X, that's going to be, like they said, $400. But, for Amex cards, they can be pretty high. Interchange fees, which nobody really talks about, is that between the bank and the payment processor, or the payment network. So, for example, with Chase cards, they might be, it'll be Chase, the bank, and Visa or MasterCard, whichever payment network that card is working with. They're both going to split up those interchange fees, which can be between 1% to 3%. And that's what they're going to charge the merchant every time you make a purchase. So they're going to get 1% to 3% of the purchase amount from every transaction. And that's been noted that's been reported of being one of their largest sources of income. And that never really gets talked about. Then you have balance transfer fees and cash advance fees. So these are those services that you see the banks always soliciting for. I get letters every day in the mail, and I'm sure you do too, where they're offering a balance transfer, or you'll get updates, you'll get notifications on your app to do these transfers, but they're not for free. Like, they're not handing you a transfer for free. They're not handing you cash for free. There's always like a 5% fee on top of a minimum $5 flat fee. So they're making money there. Late fees. If you're ever late, most cards are going to charge you $40 when if you have a late payment. I know none of you are late, but for the general population, there's a good amount of people that are going to be late on their payment, and they're going to have to pay those fees. And then also, you can't forget, they're saving a ton of money. Credit cards are saving a ton of money. I saw this new figure: 40% of rewards credit card holders haven't cashed in on any rewards in the past year. None. So when those rewards are not used or redeemed, they don't have to pay any money to their card holders. And I've seen older reports saying that, roughly 30% of credit card rewards never get redeemed. So just think about that. That's a 30% discount on what you think. You think that the venture card is giving you $400 in credits. Well, if you take 30% off of that, it's really not giving you $400. It's giving you, 30% less than that. So they're saving money there. And of course, if you're dealing with Amex or something, they're cutting deals with all the different companies that are offering benefits. These benefits, they're deals with those companies. They might actually end up netting positive on some of those deals that they work. So there's a bunch of ways they worked out every sort of charge, every sort of fee that they can tack on to recoup any sort of costs. And I wouldn't be worried about them making money, because they're making it hand over fist. So next up, and this is a further extension of that, and I just thought this was an interesting read. Actually, let me enlarge that. So this guy says, I think it's huge in general. Most people sign up for a car for only one particular purpose. So, and that's true. Like I've seen that, those intro bonuses are so key for getting people to sign up, because everybody can see that, oh, I get $200 or I get $500 in award travel if I sign up for this car. Even Nino, you just mentioned 90,000 points on the gold card. Nino just said 90,000 points on the gold card. People see that. That's a big number. That's going to move people to sign up. So it has a great balance transfer rate, has a great rewards rate for a store like I like. Or I can help accumulate miles on my favorite airline and pay very little attention to the other perks. And in most cases, I think they forget what all the perks are before the card even arrives in the mail. They forget about it. When I talk about credit cards with people I know, I'm always blown away by how little they know about the cards in their own wallets. They've been carrying these cards. The cards are dirty. They've been using these cards, swiping them everywhere. They don't even know what they do. I see coworkers using the cards in foreign countries with foreign transaction fees, even though they have credit cards that don't charge those fees. That's insane, right? You have a card that has 0%, $0 fee on foreign transactions, but you're just swiping endlessly these cards that are charging you 3%. That could easily be a couple $100 depending on how much you spend overseas. So he also goes on to say, I see people paying for dinner with a City Diamond Preferred when they have a Chase card right behind it in their wallet. My boss at work, who travels 200,000 miles a year, has been using a Chase Sapphire Preferred for everything for almost a decade now. And when I asked him why he doesn't have a Chase Sapphire Reserve, he said he didn't know what that was. He didn't know what it was. Wait, that's a credit card? What the heck is that? The fact is, most people outside of the forums just don't care, and they just don't know. And to be fair, some people are wealthy enough that they don't have to care. Potentially losing thousands of dollars in points a year maybe doesn't even matter. So, listen, I've said this before. I've seen this at work myself. Somebody, I say, what kind of car do you have? If maybe they'll forget what I'm saying. They'll think to themselves, what card was that I have? They just use the card. They've been using the same card for years. They don't even know what it's called. So that's what we're dealing with. The average folk, they don't really care about the credit card perks, what ultimately are the benefits that they could be using. They just want access to a high credit limit. They just want to know, is the transaction going to go through? Am I going to get the shiny thing? That's really the extent of what they want to know. Darren said, wealthy people definitely care. That's how they become and stay wealthy. Yeah, I think, listen, you got to definitely, you really got to pay attention and keep up to date on where your money's going. You want to, even if, listen, even if it's not going well for you, you still want to check in on a weekly basis or a daily basis to make sure that you don't have any charges that are coming out that you didn't authorize, you know? Nino said, Cal, we are a rare breed, credit card enthusiasts. Yeah. You know, it's so funny because I recently found out that the credit card Reddit forum passed 1 million, what do you call them, signups? The Reddit forum for credit cards, they passed 1 million signups. So I'll just say that. But it's still a fraction of a percent of the population here. So most people just don't know. They don't know about it. Oh, let me get this right. I got that. Okay. Danny said, it works out for me. I already paid the annual, so I just have to worry about the next year. Okay. Jay said, I had a credit card in college, but I never used it. Were you scared to use it? I had a Capital One Platinum card with a $500 limit. Were your parents, were they telling you, hey, you better not use these credit cards because it's bad for business? F Davis, what's up, man? You just got the alert, man. YouTube's got to do better, man. They got to do better. So inconsistent. Yeah, I've been live for 40 minutes. So, guys, what do you think is the most important takeaways here? You got Chase is launching a credit card with Doordash. They haven't revealed the benefits yet. Most likely, it will drop very soon because they're going to look to take advantage of the holiday season. You know, this is a big spending season, and it starts right now. So that's a big deal. Yeah. So we have a few credit cards on the horizon. So we got the DoorDash card with Chase. We got Goldman Sachs is going to launch a co-branded card with T-Mobile. So those two are going to be on the horizon. Nino, what's up, man? Thank you. Thank you, Nino. Appreciate that. Nino, have a Modelo Negro beer on me for my birthday tomorrow, October 2nd. Hey, happy early birthday. Happy early birthday, Nino. New York Jets win. So okay, we got a New York Jets fan in here. So you like Gary Vee is a big fan of the Jets. That's cool. Listen, I got to give you respect because I've been hearing about the Jets. They've never really been a great. I don't know football, so don't kill the messenger. But they've never been a great team, or they're consistently a bad team. But you stick with them because you're not a fair weather fan, right? F. Davis said that T-Mobile card should be good. Yeah, listen, these cards are, I think there's another card, the Verizon Visa card, which I have. I like that card. I use that for gas purchases because you get 4% back on gas. That's a strong card because I have Verizon service. So if you use that particular company and you've been using them for years, it's gonna make sense for you. So I want to hear about any wins. Did anybody have some? Did he get a credit limit increase this over the past week? Did you get approved for a new card? Are you about to pull the trigger on a card? Are you thinking about? Are you on the edge? of signing up for a card. Guys, I don't want to thank you for tuning in a day early. I know I'm not on the stream. I'm usually live on Sundays, but I had to go back to Saturday this time. If you could like the stream, I would really appreciate that. If you could like the stream for me. All right, we got somebody here. Team Best Bay. I got I'm going to say approved for a Capital One card for $3,000. Nice. Let me go back to the front. Let me hit that again. Boom, that's for you. Team Best Bay. Congratulations. $3,000 is nothing to sneeze at, especially with Capital One, right? Capital One is notoriously kind of strict with what they, the limits that they give out. As far as, they're notorious for not growing with you. We got here, Blicky Gang, what's up? You said it got approved for the Apple Card, $10,000? Dude, $10,000 limit? Wow, man. That's a lot of people's dream limit. I always say 10K, that was the cutoff. When I asked people earlier this year what limit that they wanted, you got cash. That's what you got. Congratulations on that. The $10,000 limit is what most people said was their ideal limit. So that's awesome. Fred 2023, you said, anyone have experience with the Costco card, City Costco card? I know I've seen people speak highly of that card. I don't have experience with that. So if anybody could just let him know in the chat that has that card. I know people use it for gas. The one thing I know, and this is kind of a negative, is that they don't give you your rewards until the end of the year. And that was kind of off-putting to me. I've never seen a setup like that. But it still may be a great card. And listen, let's see, who got the Apple Card again? We got Blicky Gang. Those Apple Cards, they grow so fast. They definitely, if you use that card as your daily carry, then that's going to grow. You could be at 20,000 credit limit in a matter of, a year easily. So that's a good point. Wesley Yancey, you said approved for a Discover card for $12,000. Plan on using it to transfer balances. Nice. What I got for you? I'm going to say very good. Confetti for Wesley. 12,000. Amazing. No, so somebody asked the question, does the Apple Card... Best Bay said the Apple Card works with Apple Pay only? No, so the Apple Card, the physical card works anywhere that takes MasterCard. So it's just like a standard card. But you don't want to use the Apple Card in that way because you only earn 1% back when you use the physical card. So you want to use Apple Pay to get that 2% flat rate. So that's double the rate. You don't want to miss out on earnings. Wow, it's good to see everybody getting getting increases. I like to see that. And I'm waiting on to get an increase on one of my cards. I wish I could get that. F. Davis, thank you, sir. came in late, but still getting knowledge. Well, listen, that's what I'm trying to dig. I'm trying to scrounge. I'm trying to figure out what's coming next. I'm trying to provide that knowledge. So thank you. I appreciate you recognizing that. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Yeah, can't forget Blicky Gang. Also, 3% on Apple products. Yes, that's true. You do get 3% on Apple products. Yeah, I shouldn't have forgotten that. So listen, it really comes in handy with the Apple Card, where you're gonna get, if you want that new iPhone or you want a new MacBook, then you'll be able to get that 3% cash back up front and use one of their installment plans at the same time. And I don't think there's any other card that offers that benefit, because even if you look at the Amazon store card, you can get 5% back, or you can use a 0% payment plan. You can't do both, but the Apple Card lets you do both. ALB, what's up? You said, I heard the Apple Card has been having major problems with credit card holders paying their bills, and they are saying it's coming from those who are approved with low FICO scores. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I mentioned that early in the stream that they're having a problem with subprime customers, and I guess they wanted it to get the Apple Card out to as many users as possible, but that came with the side effect of letting a lot of people in that weren't going to pay their bill, and so their underwriting just wasn't strong enough to keep, you know, I don't know the technical term at this moment, but there's a certain rate that they're looking to hit to eliminate that, you know, too much risk from happening on their books. Richard, what's up? You said you can use FlexPay with Citi cards, so it's like an installment program. Okay. I think I have two custom cash cards. So I believe I've seen that that phrase or that name, FlexPay. I've never used it though. But that's good to know. You definitely want to know what your options are. If you need an installment plan, you know, you want to know what is available to you. What card does everybody have their eye on right now? What do you think? I'm going to say this. My next video is going to be discussing the credit cards that you can sign up for that will show you your starting limit before you pull the trigger on it, before you actually sign up for the card and initiate that hard credit pull. Which cards will show you your starting credit limit? So I'm gonna do a video on that. Figure that'd be a good place to highlight. Darren Hilton, you said, can you explore the best ways to redeem travel benefits? I still don't really get it. You know what, Darren? I need to do more research myself on that. The thing is, here's the thing. Let's talk about travel benefits. I'm seeing a few things. I know that they're all the rage. I know that people love to extract as much value from the card and travel partners as possible. It just seemed here's the thing, for the way that I spend money and my spending habits, I don't see myself getting much value from travel partners. So here's the general consensus from my experience is that when you're using things like travel partners, you'll get the most value when you book international travel and you're actually going up a level to like business class and, you know, higher level seats like that. And when you trying to do that, introduce it introduces a lot of kind of caveats and time frames and restrictions and requirements that kind of pop up all over the place. And then it becomes like kind of a side hustle. It's like you're trying to hustle and work to book these flights. So I'm open to it. I've seen a lot, some other creators kind of discussing that. I didn't know if it would be good for me. But you guys let me know in the comments if somebody else wants me to explore that. I will gladly do that. Would you be looking to travel more domestically or internationally also? Okay. Darren says domestically, you want to travel. I would mostly use it for domestic travel myself. There's very few countries that I've been outside of the country, a few times, but there's few countries that I would actually want to visit at this point. Blicky Gang says, what card would you get? The new Blue Cash Everyday card or the Amex Gold card? So listen, I'm notoriously a no annual fee guy. I recently got the Venturex card. I would say it would have to go back to you. Can you find personally? I would personally go for the Blue Cash Everyday because it's no annual fee. I don't have I can easily redeem those cashback rewards that I earn on a monthly basis. The Amex earns great. I think it earns 4% on a couple categories. The only problem I have is with the redemption side. So you're gonna have to use those membership rewards points to get the extract value from that card. So I would go with the Blue Cash Everyday, in short. Yeah, Danny said he has both cards. Danny, which one do you recommend? Or what's a good question to ask what's a threshold, or what's like a good set of questions to ask someone to figure out is the gold card the better option or the Blue Cash Everyday? I like the Blue Cash Everyday. It's earning you 3% in 3 different categories that you can easily use. My problem with the gold is that the kicker is it does have that annual fee. I think is $295 or $200. So you have to basically extract more value out than the annual fee that you're getting hit with. And then you got to find a way to redeem those rewards. So to me, cashback is just it's so simple, right? It's so easy and simple to use. All right, Darren said the passport bros are going to be flooding your channel once you get into maximizing travel benefits. Yeah, man, that's a huge deal for sure. I was actually entertaining the idea as another channel, another creator that exclusively does maximizing rewards. I was thinking about, man, that'd be kind of cool to do like a stream or a video, like as a collaboration. That's something that I would definitely like to do. DT said, I got the gold card for all my Tinder dates. He's doing Tinder dates. That's good. Listen, you got a date. So Danny says, I love the multipliers are good on the gold card, but you get the credits for Uber Eats, and the dining credits. That's quite a bit. Danny, but how do you redeem though? How do you redeem those points? Richard says, I put my cash back from my cards directly into a high yield savings account as I think that it's maximizing value over time. Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, what rate are you getting on your savings account? I was actually kind of speaking to my wife about my savings account. I just sat there and said, wow, I'm actually earning 2.5% on my savings accounts now with SoFi. And I'm actually earning the amount of interest that I earn on a monthly basis is similar to the amount of rewards I get from a cashback card. Like I never, that's amazing to me. Now, I mean, obviously inflation's run amok, but it's good. It's still good to be able to get more than the 0.01% you're getting from Bank of America, right? Darren said, absolutely, do more collabs. Look into Austin Hallman and go from there. Okay, I'll save that. Austin Hallman. I'm gonna save that right now. I'm looking to this guy. There's another guy. I don't think that's him, but he did some really cool videos on like really quick 5-minute videos on how to like book, travel rewards and which partners to look out for. It gets complex quick. I got to tell you, I'm like, why would you go through this much effort? But if somebody wants to do it, I'm here to offer some sort of value there. Danny said, I haven't redeemed my points yet. Right now I'm sitting on, is that 500,000 or 50,000? Hold on, it's kind of small here. That's 50,000 points. Okay. So that's like $500. I mean, if it was a 1 cent per point redemption for cashback, then that would be $500. That's good, man. Yeah, Darren said, how high is that yield? Listen, there's no yield out there that's going to offset this inflation that we got going on right now. Inflation rate is like, the official number is, everybody questions that. It's probably close to 10% at this point. And there's nowhere you're getting anything close to that. Whoa, Danny Boy said, I save 6.7% on my savings account with DCU. I want to know more about that, Danny. That sounds great. Jay, what's up? You said completed my chase trifecta with the Sapphire Preferred with a 15,900 limit. That is an odd limit, right? Why not give you 16,000? But awesome anyway. Otherwise, awesome. You got it. You did that. That's a great limit too. Fred says, I used my Amex points to transfer to Hawaiian Airlines and got first class tickets from Honolulu to Las Vegas for my wife and I. All right. To Hawaiian Airlines. First class, and I think first class and other elevated airline seats are really great for long haul flights. So that's awesome. Now, were you able to book back and like departing and arriving trips? Because I've seen a couple scenarios where they booked individual tickets and then they booked it like first class one way and then they came back a different way, like economy when they returned. And see, I would want to go both ways. Like I would want to go out first class, departing and arriving. All right, guys, it's been a great stream. Thank you for hanging out with me. Next week, it's going to be Sunday at 7 p.m. like normal. If you could like the stream for me, that'd be awesome. Nino, happy early birthday. Danny, feel better. Okay, take as much time as you need off of work, and I hope that they get that guy off the street. And everybody have a great week. Rest of the weekend, I should say.